fire, and this reflects kind of lasting vegetation stress. Also, while the overall pattern was consistent throughout the fires, the size of the ETUF declined from T equals -14 to T equals +14 varied across all the fires. So we see the mean ETOF decrease was about 33.9%, which is very large. And then we tested a bunch of factors like vegetation, like NDVI, initially ETOF, etc. But none of these fully explain or had a high correlation with this percent decrease variation. So this diagram that I made kind of summarizes what we think is happening. So we have this pre-fire phase with vegetation where the vegetation is healthy, and then we have this sort of fire-driven pre-drying as the fire is approaching these plants, which draws water out of the plants, which causes this drop in ETOF pre-fire that we saw a few slides ago. And then the fire arrives, which brings post-fire high evaporative stress state and vegetation loss. And then we see that the plants gradually recover, but as I said before, we didn't see any full recovery from the beginning to the end. So from 14 days before to 14 days after the fire. So this consistent pre-fire drop in ETOF suggests that it could serve as a potential early warning signal, just because it tells us how these plants are responding to the approaching fire. And this does tell us a lot about plant physiological response, but it doesn't capture the whole story. As we know, fires are also shaped by factors like wind, terrain, fuel. And I gave an example, for example, this, you see fire cats here. They include other variables like NDVI, elevation maps, slope, etc., wind speed. And so we would need to combine with other types of variables to create a more comprehensive picture. So for limitations, we only studied 10 fires and focused on the southwestern U.S. And then also this 70-meter resolution may miss finer details. And for future work, what I said in the last slide, and also we can observe what happens even beyond this short-term 14-day post-fire period. What does recovery look like after that in terms of ETOF? And then we also want to explore what factors could contribute to the magnitude of this ETOF drop that we saw pre-fire. And yeah, so basically to wrap up, we found that ETOF in plants consistently drops multiple days before fire arrival, and that this may help us better understand plant-fire interactions and basically give insight into fire behavior. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Great job, thank you so much, Rohan. Do we have questions in the audience?
Great job, great presentation. I'd love to hear your thoughts about applying this in a different ecosystem. So we're looking at California. Can you think of another area that might experience wildfires, and if this ET over F might serve as a equally good indicator?
Yeah, this was done in New Mexico and Arizona. So, yeah, Southwest U.S. I guess the apply to other regions because obviously they're very variable.
Northwest, southeast.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that could be future work. Yeah.
Good job.
I have a question, and my question is more about the program that you did where you were introduced to ECOSTRESS data. And so I'm interested to know, had you ever used remote sensing data before the course? And now that you've completed the course, do you think you would be comfortable using remote sensing data on your own in the future?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I learned a lot throughout, learning throughout, you know, the process of.
Had you ever used remote sensing data before?
No.
Okay. And how long was the course?
Well, the course that I took was, wasn't that course, but I met Dr. Fisher, because it was at the same program, but I was in different classes.
Oh, I see.
So I didn't take his course, but learned through his online tutorials from iSphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rohan. This is great. And this is super exciting for us as a mission to learn about people who are able to discover ECOSTRESS data and use it. And I hope that you'll be able to use it in the future as well. Thank you so much for sharing your research with us.